Okay, folks, we are back. The Angry Hacks are back tonight. I'm kind of excited tonight, boys. I am excited. Something about that music that hits is sticking with me, and I get so excited. But we're here to talk some sports tonight with you. With me today, we got Stan the Man. What's up, Stan?
What's up, brother? How we doing?
We're doing great tonight. Michael Hall, what is up?
Hello, Nuns.
And a little surprise from our own David Crudy. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
It's going, man. We're gonna get right into it. Guys, we got a lot of sports to talk today, and we're gonna focus on the meat and potatoes a little bit later, which is the NFL Week 2. But we got to bring something back we haven't talked about in a while, and we got to talk about it because it's playoffs are coming up fast, boys. So why don't we start with the Yankees, because they're heading there, boys. They are heading there. So Mike, start us off with a little Yankees talk.
Well, they better be heading there, because right now, 3-game lead in the wild card, 5 over the second wild card team. So barring a huge collapse, they'll be in the playoffs. 3.5 out of the division, with Boston winning today. So with how many games left? 16, something like that. So
15 or 16.
So, there's still hope there. And, with the new wild card system, it's always the goal to win the division. But we, dare I say, we will be in the playoffs. And the team, for the first time in a long time, is starting to make me feel good again. We had that obvious swoon on the West Coast, and then everyone got hurt. And then we were kind of treading water and kind of staying in it, but the baseball wasn't really exciting yet. But finally, the lineup's healthy again. The pitching staff is good with our top 2 going to the playoffs, which you need a good 1 and 2 with Severino and Gray is a good feeling. The bullpen's really freaking weird. Chapman is, returned to form, thank God.
He's been so up and down all year.
So the bullpen's so weird. It's like it's so dominant, and it should be so dominant, but they've still blown like the most games all year. The whole bullpen. Canely can't throw a strike sometimes. Robertson has been pretty steady, but he gives up a lot of loud outs. Betances is a joke. The only guy I feel comfortable with, it's ridiculous, is Chad Green.
It's not ridiculous.
It's not. The weird thing about this is, years ago when the Yankees in the 90s were great and they had like that great bullpen, this is a type of team where you can kind of think that like starters don't have to go deep into games, especially in the playoffs, because you figure by like the 6th inning you can pull them and you have 4 or 5 good relievers that could finish the game out for you. But that being said, these guys have been way too inconsistent. Like, honestly, I think Chapman's had a terrible year. I mean, he's been playing a lot better lately, pitching a lot better, but he's not gotten the job done. He's blown way too many saves, given up way too many runs. But that being said, the thing about this team, though, that I could say, people don't even realize it, but they're actually pretty resilient, though. They've had a lot of injuries, and guys have stepped in and really have come up big for them. Guys like Ronald Torres, guys like, that have been playing for Lou Castro's injury. Like, even guys like Chase Headley's played all right, at times. Like, guys have really stepped up on this team. So, and also, even when they go on these 4 or 5 game losing streaks, when they got swept by Cleveland, I started to get a little worried. I'm thinking, oh man, it's like 1-2 games out of the wild card. But they actually always find a way to kind of lead back up to 3 or 4 games, because they got demolished by Cleveland. And I was getting worried, like, like, are they going to blow this wild card lead?
Who hasn't been swept by Cleveland? I mean, let's be honest.
I know. Well,
very true. But that being said, I really feel like this team is ready for the playoffs. I really hope they win. Honestly, the division, I've kind of written it off.
It's going to be tough.
You don't have no games left with Boston, which is kind of a problem. So it's hard to catch ground against a team that's ahead of you when you don't even play them anymore.
This is the first member division rivals not facing each other at the end of the year, especially like a Yankees-Red Sox team.
I know. I mentioned that a while ago, and it's very strange.
It's surprising. But just quickly on Chad Green, all right? This is not weird. Chad Green, his last 8 outings, 12 1/3 innings pitched, 1 run, 0 walks, 24 strikeouts.
The guy's unbelievable.
That's pretty.
He's easily got the best stuff on the team.
He's faced 226 batters this year and struck out 96 of them. That's over 42% of the batters he's faced. He strike out.
And you mentioned the one walk in the last 12 innings.
Yep.
That's been all year. And honestly, like Dave said, you can shorten the game when everyone's right in this bullpen. You shorten the game. The other day, Jaime Garcia was bitching and moaning that Girardi's taking him out of the game. Like, dude, you're lucky we're still running him out there every fifth or sixth day. Like, shut your mouth. You know what I mean?
Sucks.
Like if Severino doesn't have it, you better be pulling him in the fifth inning with this bullpen. Now the thing, Chapman's been very inconsistent, but lately he's starting to look like Chapman again. But Betances is still a big problem. The guy, he's always got a full loaded diaper in his pants every time he's on the mound. He always looks terrified on the mound. He never looks dominant. You know what I mean? You know, and he'll get his strikeouts and he'll have good outings, but man, he makes you nervous. But Chad Green, holy shit, I wish he could pitch 5 innings a day and just, the start to go 4 and Chad Green clean it up.
Well, you would love it. I mean, Chad Green's been so good, but the one thing, and I think Girardi has done a very good job this year. I just like his attitude. I like the benching of Sanchez for those few games, giving him a little jolt. But like last week, he did something very strange a few days ago. On Sunday, Chad Green pitches in a 7-run game, okay? On Wednesday, he pitched in an 8-run game. Yeah. But on Thursday, he didn't pitch, and like Heller is pitching in a 2-run game. That's the weird stuff that I just don't understand. We all want Chad Green to pitch every day. I'm calling myself we. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I'm just saying, as a Yankee fan, I would want him to pitch every day. But then why are you using him in games like that when it doesn't matter as much?
Because that's what Joe's binder says. Yeah, check the binder.
I used to question Girardi a lot. I actually don't so much anymore. I actually think he's a really great manager. When he first came to the team, I used to bitch about him a lot. And I think to the point where I wanted him out because I couldn't stand him anymore.
A big part of Girardi too is when he first took over, he was managing guys that are like his peers.
That's true.
Jeter and Rodriguez, Posada. That's got to be really freaking weird. And when he won Manager of the Year with the Marlins, that team was like a bunch of teenagers. And I think that kind of a team, a young team, one that he can teach as well as coach, really, really helps him as a manager. And it's helped him this year.
Kind of shape and mold them kind of the way he wants them to be.
I think that's his strength as a manager.
And as Ryan mentioned, sitting Sanchez, remember, he sat Judge, too, for a few games, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Judge was really struggling.
He's not afraid to do that. And Sanchez, with being benched, mini benching, and that significant time he missed due to injury, has 30 home runs still.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The lineup, when these guys are healthy, 1 through 9, and Todd Frazier is your 9-hitter, that's pretty freaking good.
I don't know the exact numbers, but if you look up Sanchez's numbers for the last 2 years in August, they're ridiculous. They're like astronomical.
If you prorated his August into an entire season, he'd be in the Hall of Fame already.
Yes,
it's pretty ridiculous. So, but overall, I'm pretty excited. I hope we get the Twins.
Oh,
please, with the track record we've had against the Twins, please bring them on. Like, I'd rather no other team but the Twins.
I'll play them in a 1-game series, a 7-game series, a 15-game series.
But I really want the Yankees to get through and to get into an actual 7-game series, 5-game series, and 7-game series, possibly to so they actually play more than one game instead of getting their shut out by Dallas Keuchel.
Well, if the Twins, I mean, when your ace is Irvin Santana, I think the Yankees got to be pretty confident if that's who they do face.
Right.
But just a shout out to the Twins. I mentioned this a few weeks ago about being sellers at the deadline and then being in contention. The Twins were sellers at the deadline, trading their closer and then trading for Jaime Garcia and then trading for him and then trading him away. And then they made a run and now they're there. They're in the second wild card. They're up by 2 games on the Angels. Just stellar job, Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. As a player, it's got to piss you off sometimes. They weren't really out of it when they decided to sell.
What team was? There were 10 teams in the
mix.
Exactly.
I mean, there's still 10 teams in it, technically, mathematically.
When you have 2 wild card teams, everyone's alive.
Love the change.
And the locker room, you're going to trade everybody away. All right, well, watch this. Now, you still, you could say that all you want and suck and not win games. They're winning a lot of games.
Not to be selfish or anything, but what I'm hoping for is the Yankees can pull away for a 4 or 5-game lead and they can set up their rotation for the playoffs so they're not pitching Severino or Gray on the last day And not that I don't have faith in Sabathia or Tanaka, but it would be nice to be able to pitch Severino in that first game and then go right to Gray for game 1 and then go from there. So I'm hoping the Yankees can pull away, though.
To be honest, I'll take either one.
All 4 of them are pretty reliable. Even
Sonny Gray has been awesome.
Yeah, and Tanaka, he's at a good second half. His ERA is down to like 3.5 for the second half. He's pitched well. He got banged up a little bit last start against what was it? What did he pitch against? Oh, Texas. Yeah, he got banged up by Texas last start. But other than that though, he's been pretty good. So he's like almost back to form. So the Yankee rotation is actually pretty solid.
I think the Yankees are in a good spot overall. The lineup I feel is like that. It's like that 5-run-a-game lineup again. You know what I mean? You can just close your eyes and score 5 runs. They should be able to do that with this line. Like I said, when Todd Frazier's hitting 9th, Ellsbury is like rejuvenated himself, and the lineup. When everyone's healthy, it's a very deep lineup.
And I love CC Sabathia's like attitude. By the way, when he pitched against Boston a couple weeks ago with his bad knee,
let's talk about.
They were bunting against him, and it pissed him off so bad to the point where he was like, "I'm going to shove it up their asses now if they're going to try to bunt on me." And he pitched a 6-inning shutout game.
So Nunez bunts on him, okay, and CC with the bad knee, he throws him out, okay. He bitches right after. He starts barking at their dugout. He bitches after the game.
Oh, the back and forth after the game was great.
And I got to a point where I was like, dude, I almost got mad at him for a second. I was like, dude, like, relax.
It's
like,
part of the game.
You're allowed to bunt.
Yeah.
But I stopped myself, and I came to this conclusion. CC, he's wrong, but he's just this old, crotchety old man who doesn't have half a shit left to give, and that's the way he feels. That's what, and if it fuels him to pitch better, which I feel like it does, then do all the time.
That was my basic point, because it just the way it drove him to pitch really well, and so like whatever fuels his fire, I really don't care. But I just thought it was awesome. Hey, well, now I'm gonna shove it up your ass.
Yeah, and he's been pitching well. I think the Yankees are in a good spot, like I said. And barring a horrible collapse, they'll be in the playoffs, and away we go.
There we are.
Away we go.
Yeah. Like to jump in, guys, because I was marinating in this discussion and enjoying it, because we don't really know what it feels like right now, because I haven't watched my team play in 2 weeks.
I know. I thought you were gonna say you were marinating steaks or something.
Yeah.
No, that would be real nice. But no, I was just listening to you guys. It's cool to hear, baseball fans being excited right now, because I kind of wrote off baseball right now. I mean, I'll throw the playoffs on, but just kind of a cranky Mets fan right now.
Yeah, well,
and
on that.
Amen to
yeah,
that.
it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, guys, I'm not a Yankee fan, but I mean, it's nice, you guys are my friends, and I hope the best for them. But it's going to be hard, because I mean, there's a team in that league that's doing some crazy stuff right now, and that's the Indians. They just won their 21st game in a row yesterday, right, Rye?
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you've been living under a baseball rock, but we have to notice we noticed the Indians even as.
Oh yeah.
They probably won't lose again this year, so they'll let's see, 146. They'll finish 115 and 56 or something like that. They're not going to lose.
One of my betting strategies over the years is when a team hits like a 10-game winning streak, you just start betting against them, because eventually they have to lose, right? But I feel bad for any poor sucker that has bet on 11 games in a row and lost those damn 11 games. I'll throw $20 here, and then you make it 40, then you make it 80, then you make it 160. You keep doubling. Like, one day they're gonna make money. I saw last week a few games against the Tigers in a baseball game. The Tigers were plus 315, over 3-1 in a baseball game, and not just against Kluber. It was against any Indians pitcher.
By the way, is it safe to say now that Corey Kluber is Cy Young for the year over Chris Sale?
Yes.
I think it's safe. I don't know if it's safe, but I think he's overtaken. I think he's taken the lead.
I think Chris Sale needs to beat the Yankees first before he wins the Cy Young.
Yeah. Looking at it right now, it looks like Cleveland's even challenging the Dodgers their best record in the league, which is ridiculous considering how the Dodgers were so far ahead of everyone until they lost about 15 games in a row.
Well, in 59 games, the Dodgers were 50-9. I'm sorry. Yeah, something like that. In 59 games, they were 50-9. And then over their 10-game stretch recently, they were 0-10.
Cleveland's 4 games back for the best record in the whole league.
Nationals are there too.
4 in the win column, right?
No, 4.
4. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, it's, you know, Rye, you talk about the betting and everything, and, you know, most guys would make that play too after, you know, teams win that many games, because you don't see teams winning a lot of games like that in the majors anymore. It's really hard. It's hard on a daily basis to go out there and win so many games in a row.
Well, this streak is up there, bro.
I know. It really is up there. And, you know, I'd probably do the same thing. They're around 11, 12 games in a row. Shit, let me bet against them, man. I mean, and keep doing it. And you're saying,
don't get too far in a hole, though, Ryan. I don't want you to have to start selling concert tickets to get your way out.
Real concert tickets or fake concert tickets?
I mean, it's funny. I Craig Carton, that's who we're talking about. 10 years I listened to this guy, and I, you know, I liked his radio personality. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. I hate this whole thing that has happened with him, but I also wanted to mention that quick too, Rye.
go ahead.
No, did you see yesterday that he announced his resignation?
Yes, he did. I saw his statement on Twitter.
And they changed the name of the show from the Boomer and Carton Show to the Morning Show with Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, they did everything in the blink of an eye, too. It was very quick. Got him out real quick.
They cleared his office out. Anything, any kind of memorabilia. You know, if you ever watched the show, you know, their desks are loaded with bobbleheads and jerseys and all the knickknacks. All his shit was gone in like 3 hours. Like, I think they sent Al Hughes in there just to ransack all his stuff and like sell it or something.
Yeah, I mean, they were probably getting it out because, you know, it's really a bad look. It's a terrible look. I don't really know. I mean, we all really don't know the real story, to be honest with you. And, you know, he's saying he's kind of an innocent guy, but I mean, I don't even know what to say about that.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope he's innocent, but I can't see it.
I'll say this though: when the FBI will arrest you at your house at 5 o'clock in the morning, they probably have a pretty solid case.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a hard time not believing them. And my thing is, and I've told you guys this before, I wasn't a big Craig Carton fan, in a sense that I thought he was a douchebag, to be honest with you. I thought he was a douche. But on the other hand, I liked Boomer Esiason so much that I would always listen to this show in the morning on my way to work. It was very entertaining. They had great guests. They had great segments. It was just a very entertaining show. So, albeit me not liking Craig Carton that much, I still loved the show, and he's still gonna be missed from the show.
Well, the chemistry between them was very good, and yeah, if you don't like Carton, I think you still like the chemistry. It's what we've missed with Francesa the last many years.
Right.
Even if you don't like Francesa, you loved the Mike and the Mad Dog together. It was fantastic.
It's the back and forth that you love.
Yes.
And
Just like this.
Yeah, and such a successful show just completely ruined by this guy. And you feel bad for
Boomer,
but
Rello?
But Boomer's gonna be all right. Boomer has 16 other jobs.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, he's got Showtime but Jerry Recco and producers, you know, Eddie and Al Dukes. Those guys you feel bad for because they hit this honey hole with this show, and now it's gone.
This is my issue with guys like this, though. Why are they so possessed to do illegal shit when they already make like a shitload of money to begin with? Did he have a gambling problem?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? All right.
So there's only one reason why I think, like, yeah, many guys have a gambling problem, Dave, right? So I'm not speaking of us. I'm just saying, like,
in general,
like, in my eyes, he feared for his life. He got into business with the wrong people, owed the wrong people money, and was like, you know what? The only way to get out is if I start this crazy side business where I can make millions of dollars to pay off my gambling debt.
That's true. I forgot. I actually read about that. All the gambling debts that he actually had.
It felt like a desperate move. You know what I mean?
Which it probably was. Which at least it makes a little more sense. But even so, like, he's not the only one. And I don't know off the top of my head, I can't come up with really any examples. But there are definitely guys out there.
Dijkstra.
Oh yeah, Lenny Dykstra. But the guys who they have money.
Love you, Lenny.
They have money. They're living a comfortable life, and they do stupid stuff like this. And I don't understand it. I guess because I'm not rich, I don't know. So
he got in a little too deep, making good bets, and he got in debt with the wrong people, and he got desperate.
Well, guys, you know what it really boils down to. I'll be honest with you right here. This is what happened. Craig Carton dealt with Mike the bookie. That's what it was. He dealt with Mike the bookie. That's all it was.
Mike the bookie.
AKA Stovall.
Seinfeld, Mike the bookie.
Come on, guys. Jesus.
I can't believe I missed that one. Damn it.
It went right over there.
Stanley, come on, man.
I know.
All right, we're 0 for 1 in the Seinfeld reference.
Terrible.
Try another one in a few minutes.
That was rough.
Well, I mean, the whole Craig Carton thing, it really is a bummer in a sense, especially for us being big New York sports fans and listening to radio shows on WFAN for a lot of our lives and just really enjoying them. It's a real bummer. I mean, we'll still listen to Boomer in the morning. It's just not going to be the same. And like, who guys, what do you think? If they go for another co-host, who do you think they would go for? Who's around?
I don't know who they're going for. We know who their guest people have been, but you tell you the truth, I think my favorite might be Jerry Recco.
He's good.
I like Recco.
I like Recco. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's got to tell Boomer that hockey sucks because that's what Carton used to do.
Listen,
Did you see the show after Carton got canned or after he found out? Boomer goes, "I know we're going to be talking a lot more about hockey."
It's true. Well, no matter who they get, the dynamic would be so much different. It'd be like Jerry Recco is probably the polar opposite of Craig Carton. You know what I mean? So my point, no matter who they find, that show is just dead forever. It really is.
Well, whoever they get, and if they get somebody, it's obviously going to take some time for us as fans of the show to really, warm up to that guy and warm up to the chemistry and get used to it, basically, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they remember when Francesca was going to leave? They had pretty much tryouts on different time slots. They'd bring someone for the morning, or Joe and Evan were separated for a while because they were trying people out.
That's how Strahan got Regis Philbin's job.
Yeah,
just
like walk-in auditions,
Yep.
So I don't know if they do something like that, or Boomer and Francesca in the morning. Could you imagine that?
Oh man,
No. Go away, Francesca.
Oh, I know.
Talk about a cranky old man.
I don't know. They'll probably find somebody who we've never even heard of because I never heard of Craig Carton before he started this show. I had no idea who he was. So
That's true, Dave. Good point.
They'll just find somebody else that you got to have somebody to contrast Boomer. Like Boomer's kind of like the
logical one.
The logical one, and then Carton's the clown.
Right.
That's
why it worked.
And that's why it worked. And they need to find something like that again. So it might take a while.
Yeah, sure might take a while. I mean, but like I said, well, we've been attached to the show for a while, all of us, and I mean, well wishes to Boomer in that show. Hopefully, it does well and it continues to do well. Yeah. But guys, on to the meat and potatoes. Like I said, we got NFL Week 2, boys.
Yeah,
we got NFL Week 2. It's pretty exciting. I love early in the season. You get really excited for the start of the NFL season. Rye, we talked about this. I think we kind of hit a dud in Week 1. I wasn't in love with a lot of the games. Don't you think so?
I totally agree. And of course, Week 2, what do we got tonight? Another freaking dud.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's a game tonight.
Yeah, nobody really cares about.
Hey, I have Hopkins on my fantasy team.
The only thing I can say about that game is interesting is watching Deshaun Watson play because that could be pretty exciting because he is.
Good point. So
other than that, though, I got nothing.
Well, there's a couple of pretty decent games. The one I'm interested in the most, I would say, is this Dallas-Denver game. Partially because it's Dallas and it's a division foe of ours, Rye and Dave, and it's we want to see Dallas lose, obviously. But and Denver, comes in with another formidable defense that Dallas has to play, and Denver's home too. So that helps a lot. But I don't know. I think Dallas is actually going to play better than they did against us, and they're going to go out and beat Denver. I hate to say it, but I think that's going to happen. I just think Zeke's going to have an even better game. Right, we talked about this. He was just unbelievable in that first game, dragging our freaking players for extra 3-4 yards. It was unbelievable, you know?
Yeah, the stat that was crazy to me is that his longest rush was 10, but he must have gotten 6 or 7 on a lot of plays and had his first contact at about 2 yards and still got 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I know.
And watching a lot of like his highlights too, just seeing he literally was dragging guys for yards and breaking tackles. It was very frustrating because they could have held him to possibly 60, 70 yards, but it didn't happen that way because of all the yards after contact.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Dave? We always discuss with the Giants defense before this good defense started last year, how, dude, this team could not tackle. We would get so freaking pissed up in my apartment, ripping and yelling at this screen because our guys could not freaking make a tackle. And what did they do really well last year?
They tackled, and I was just about to say, not last year. Last year, they tackled.
They freaking tackled, man.
They were great against the run.
And I think they're going to continue to tackle well this year. But Zeke, he's on another planet. He's a very good running back.
I was wrong about Ezekiel Elliott, mostly because he's probably a Cowboy, and I just don't want to give him credit. But I'm early, like a month ago or whatever, I remember like texting you guys saying that I thought anybody could run behind that offensive line, and it wouldn't matter who was back there. But I was wrong. Honestly, he's the real deal. And like just watching the way he played against the Giants, I got to give him his props.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with this game this week against Denver does have a nice defense. It's a very good defense, good pieces there. Von Miller's a stud. They got good D-backs, but I just feel like Denver still doesn't have a formidable offense. The quarterback situation just scares me away. It really does. It scares me away. And if Dallas plays defense like they did against us, I mean, a lot of it probably was our lack of the offense. Then I just feel like Dallas is just they're going to win that game. I think it's going to be a closer game than you think, but I think Dallas will take that game. Any thoughts, guys?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I do think that, first of all, what really sucks about Denver, and I agree with you with the quarterback situation because, I mean, I'm not too high on Simeon. I don't think he's that bad. But I feel like Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders have digressed a little bit because of the fact they don't have a Peyton Manning throwing to them. C.J. Anderson's not that bad in the backfield. I think he's a decent running back. But I don't see a reason why Denver couldn't win this game. But I understand where you're getting at here. And if gun to my head, I'm probably going to say Dallas will win this game. I don't want to say that, but I'm just being honest here. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm going with this.
I agree, too. This is a 4 o'clock game, right, Ryan?
4:25, yes.
Yeah, so this is the game to watch at 4 o'clock. I mean, so like you said, this is the one. I think the Cowboys are the better team. I mean, it sucks, but it's true.
It's going to be a Buck and Aikman type game.
I like Denver, guys. Denver's winning this game.
Yeah.
You watch.
That's what I'm talking about, Michael.
I mean, I wouldn't bet money on it, but I like Denver. I don't think Dallas's offensive line, it's definitely not as good as it was last year. And I think Denver's going to get after Prescott. I can see Prescott having a really, really rough time in that building. I know the running game is excellent, but I think Denver can neutralize the running game enough to make Prescott have to make plays, and I'm not really sure he can. And I don't think Dallas should think that they can just waltz up there and beat Trevor Siemian just because he's not Peyton Manning. Like Dave said, Trevor Siemian's he's okay. He's okay. I think they have enough.
He can manage the game.
Right, and a good offensive line. I think resurgent C.J. Anderson, not better than he's been, and I like Denver.
All right. Listen, Mike, I think the three of us are with you in hoping Denver wins.
You're not going to argue that.
My thing to watch in this game, and I already said it, but I want to see what Dallas' defense has got again. I really do. I mean, if they let up 20 plus points to this Denver offense, then I know that the Giants' offense was just a freaking dumpster fire. I don't know, but I'm very interested to see what this Dallas defense has in store again for week 2, because if they look good again and don't allow, let's say, I don't know, less than 10 points or something like that, then I'm going to get a little scared. I'm not going to lie. Gonna get a little scared.
I like to see also if Dak's going to go through some sophomore blues. Seeing if let's see how Dak plays this year as a quarterback. Because I mean, didn't watch much of the game. I ended up falling asleep because whatever. But I didn't. The fact they only scored 19 points, I can't imagine he had that stellar of a game. So I'd like to see how he progresses, and let's see if he has a good a year as he did last year.
Yeah.
He didn't play badly. He played all right. He played good.
He didn't make any mistakes.
Good, not great.
Yeah, good, not great. Yeah, okay. Probably didn't make much mistakes. Kind of just managed the game. Didn't have to score many points, considering that the Giants, were pretty much 3 and out like half the game. So
I saw a stat about Dak. Like first 500 career pass attempts, he might have the best percentage ever for a quarterback after his first
completion percentage.
Completion percentage. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't think he's reached the mark yet. I saw it somewhere today, but I know it's something like that.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. There's a couple of good 1:00 games, guys, that we can talk about right now. You got Philly going to Kansas City, and you also got Minnesota going to Pittsburgh. Which game do you like better to watch?
That's a good question.
Or are you flipping back and forth?
Well, I could.
Or flipping.
I could flip.
You got to flip.
But, being a Packer fan, obviously a Minnesota game is interesting. And,
right.
Yeah, I want to see how – because it's kind of similar to what you guys are talking about with Dallas. Like, you don't know if it was really the Giants' poor offensive play or is Dallas' defense that good. I want to see how Minnesota's offense plays, because I think it was just lack of any kind of Saints defense, because guess what? They suck again.
Mm-hmm. Rob Ryan still there?
Yeah, he's around. But Diggs had a hell of a game. That kid is rapidly climbing my shit list. I don't like him. I just don't like him. I just don't like him. I think he's an asshole.
And you don't need a reason, dude. We do this too.
I don't need a reason, so I'm not going to give you one. Just say he's an asshole. But in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh didn't look great. They struggled with Cleveland a little bit, but they're such a different team at home. Roethlisberger is such a different quarterback at home. His home and road splits are outrageous. If you want to take a look at him, it's silly. So I want to see what Minnesota is really made of.
Well, can we give Le'Veon Bell the ball more than 12 times?
Well, listen, we were just talking about this before we came on. That was Mike Tomlin going, okay, Bell, you want to hold out all camp? Here's 12 touches.
Well, they better.
And I think it's over. And he was just sending a message. I think
he got a touch for every $1 million that he just earned this year, because I think he got $12 million, so he got his 12 touches.
That's insane.
I mean, I agree with Mike. I think that's 100% what it was, and I think Tomlin has a big set of balls on him for doing that. I like that.
Now, listen, he's not going to do it all year. You're going to be back to good old Le'Veon Bell from now on.
But I kind of wish they benched him, even though they screwed everyone that bet him.
Did it help that maybe they were playing Cleveland and they thought they could beat Cleveland without him? Possibly. Exactly.
That's probably a help.
They're playing the Patriots week 1. I'm not so sure that Le'Veon Bell gets 12 touches, but kudos to Mike Tomlin.
Good point. I mean, who do you think wins this game, guys?
Which one? The Minnesota-Pittsburgh game?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go Pittsburgh, honestly. Also, Xavier Rhodes got hurt last game against the Saints, and I don't know if he's going to be out. I'm not sure what his status is, but that's a big loss for their defense if he's out.
It's their best corner.
It's their best corner, and that won't be on Antonio Brown now.
The Vikings still run out Terrence Newman.
39 years old, Terrence Newman.
Well, now
are you kidding me with that?
Now, guess what? Terrence Newman's going to be, covering a much better receiver if Xavier Rhodes is out. So that could spell disaster. I like Pittsburgh.
I freaking hated Terrence Newman 15 years ago.
Dude, I've been hating him since his college career at K-State.
Kansas State Wildcats.
Wow. I didn't even know he's still playing?
Yes. Yeah, you didn't see him the other
night?
night?
He still plays a lot.
So funny.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
On a good defense, on a really good defense. That Vikings defense is very good. But I like Pittsburgh at home.
Right?
No, I like Pittsburgh at home too.
Pittsburgh all the way.
Yeah, I think we're a clean sweep there. I think Pittsburgh takes us at home. I think it's going to be a close one, though. And I think Le'Veon Bell gets close to 30 touches. Let's go, baby.
More than 12, we'll say.
Yeah. So Philly is going to Kansas City. And you guys heard me the other day talk up Kansas City a little bit. I told you they were going to be the Super Bowl champs. I may be a little silly, but I think they're going to win this game at home as well. I think Kareem Hunt has another huge game. I was definitely I had no idea about him, to be honest with you guys, when it came into the season. And then I watched him in that game, and I said, holy shit, this guy's pretty dynamic. He's like a younger Sproles. He really is.
You know what conference he played in college, right?
He was he from Toledo?
Toledo, the MAC.
The MAC, yeah.
The mighty MAC. The midweek MAC madness. I mean,
Michael, you love the MAC.
He is built for success, this kid.
Return of the MAC.
I'm not going to talk about this game right now. This is one of my picks that we're going to do later. I'm going to save this as a special one for me, so I'm going to pass it over to someone else.
Mike, Rye, I agree with you with the Chiefs. This is the game I'm watching at one. One, because I need the Eagles. I want the Eagles to lose, so I'm rooting hard for the Chiefs. I think Andy Reid playing that Eagles team, he's always fired up for that. So I think that the Chiefs will win this one handily. I think Wentz looked really good in week 1. I think the Redskins suck big rhinoceros dick. so I think that it's going to be a lot different for Wentz today. This week.
Good. I'd like to see how KC responds with the Eric Berry injury. I like to see how their secondary plays. I'm not so. No, that's fine. You're big on the Chiefs. I'm not so sold on the Chiefs. Honestly, I don't even think the Chiefs are winning this division. But that's just my own opinion. Truthfully, I think Philly could easily win this game. I think Philly's a lot better than people are giving credit for. We're talking a lot about the Cowboys and the Giants, but I think the Eagles will be with the Eagles and with the Giants and Cowboys all year, and that's going to be a 3-way fight for that division. The Redskins, I agree, they suck. Fuck the Redskins. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about this game yet, honestly. And I like the +5.5 that Philly's getting right now, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to go in that game, but I don't know. Philly kind of scares me. And the Giants never play well against the Eagles. The Eagles give the Giants fits. And so, that's going to be – if the Giants don't get their act together, they're going to have a really hard time playing against these division rivals along with everyone else they have to play. So, it's going to – I don't know. I'm a little worried. I think KC probably being at home probably wins the game, but I think it's really close.
And, guys, if you look at this game, too, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs was a long-time Philadelphia Eagle coach. I think he'd like to win that game.
Definitely.
Not that matters. I don't know. It's just something to say.
Well, actually, he's going against his old offensive coordinator, being a
right, Peterson.
Doug
protege.
Yeah, his protege. So there's a lot of back and forth right now. He's going to want to show him up too. So it's not going to be, it's not all about Andy Reid either.
I want to say one more thing about the Steeler game, about the Steelers. Even last week, I was talking to my brother. What he mentioned was maybe not Mike Tomlin giving a big, to holding, Le'Veon Bell to 12 carries, but maybe the offensive line giving a big fuck you and letting them get hit. If you want to skip OTAs, you can get hit. What do you think of that? Doing it against the Browns team they know they could beat, like Dave said, but, the rest of the year, they're not going to do that and they expect them to be fine.
I don't buy that. I don't buy it.
I don't know if I do either, but
I don't buy it at all.
It's interesting.
I think that's stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. Why would you want your guy to get hurt? Come on.
Well, that's the thing. If you let him get hit that hard, he could get hurt.
Dude, and you know how fragile he is.
It's true.
Come on. That's silly. Silly, Mark. Silly.
Well, at least, listen, let's give Bell credit. At least he's not smoking weed anymore, or at least he's not getting caught for it. So.
I was just going to say, Dave, at least he's not getting caught.
He just found a good masking pill from the pharmacy or something.
Yeah.
I better not be hanging out with LeGarrette Blount anymore.
Yeah, no, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. The Patriots play the Saints. This could be like a 45-40 game. Who knows?
No way. Saints suck.
I don't know. In New Orleans.
No,
I don't think the Saints are going to win, to be honest with you. But maybe they score a little points. Kansas City put 42 up against New England. I don't think New England's defense is as good as you guys think they are. They're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not good. I made a big mistake on them in my fantasy team, forgetting that they had rookie linebackers left and right.
What's funny is, Ryan, I wish that they were in a tougher division. I even said today, if you put the Patriots in the AFC West, I don't even know if they're going to win that division. I truly don't know because I think that division is so good. Like playing in the AFC East, you're playing against nobody. Jay Cutler and, we don't even need to talk about – I mean, the Bills, I guess, could be okay, but we don't forget the Jets. I mean, they're just awful. But, yeah, I mean, I like the Patriots in this game. Obviously, it'd be really tough for them to see them go 0-2. I don't think anybody has seen that happen in a long time. Even when Brady served his 4-game suspension, they still went 3-1, I believe.
Yep.
So that's and against the Saints team, that's just – first of all, I think the Saints are going to finish last in their division. I really have no hope for them. They'll score their points. I don't deny that, but I'm just not. My main thing going on this is I just can't see New England going 0-2.
It probably is a race to 40 points. This game, both teams might get there. The one thing I'll say about this game, I think makes a big difference. It is in New Orleans. They're not in the friendly confines of Foxborough, in Billy's backyard. And Breeze never, ever, ever stops competing. Never. So
no, I love that guy.
True.
Even if the Patriots are up 2 scores in the fourth quarter, I can see Breeze making it interesting, and you never know. I still think the Pats will win. But I think that's a very interesting game. The Patriots have to be careful.
Just to piggyback what Mike kind of said earlier about Roethlisberger, Drew Brees is the same type of quarterback as when he's different playing on the road than he is at home. Drew Brees is a different quarterback playing in his own building.
Absolutely.
So there is some hope in that. So I will say that.
Well, I'll throw this in there. They're playing in a dome. Do you remember the last time Tom Brady played in a dome?
Uh-oh.
Tell us, please.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady might be the best dome quarterback we've ever had. Maybe Kurt Warner, maybe over the greatest show on turf. Breeze is the type of guy, but the home field advantage, I don't think is there in a game like this. I think it could be there, but against Brady and Belichick, I just don't think it's there. The Patriots have, 10 days to prepare for this game coming off a Thursday night game? I just cannot see.
And the Saints have 1 day less. They play Monday night.
Okay, right. So it's a short week for the Saints. It's a long week for the Pats. That first game is a freaking wake-up call. I know their defense isn't good. Even with them not being good, I just don't see this game not going the Patriots' way. Oh, yeah. I could never count out Belichick with an extra time to prepare.
And listen, I like the Patriots, but they better be careful. That's all I'm saying.
I hope they lose. I hope they go 0-10. I hope they spend the first 10 games of the year. I hate them so much. I'm so tired of hearing about Belichick and Brady and this guy and that guy. I'm sick of it. I can't wait for these guys to retire. Like I just want to see some new teams come up. Like that's why like even with the playoffs this year, I'm hoping that like we see like new blood in there. Like I'm just so sick of watching the Patriots versus the Steelers in the AFC Championship. Like fuck the Steelers too. Like I'm tired of these teams. Like I just don't want. I'm tired of watching the same teams over and over. Like I just want to see some new teams come up and rise. Like honestly, like I know I'm kind of going off on a rant here because it's just been pissing me off. But I really hope I'm rooting so hard for Phillip Rivers this year, and I don't even like Phillip Rivers. But like he came in the same year as Eli Manning, and honestly, his team has let him down time and time again, partially being his fault at times too. But I'd love to see him actually like if there's any team I want to see come out of the AFC this year, I'd love to see the Chargers make a run because I wouldn't even mind if the Giants got knocked out to see Phillip Rivers win a ring because I think he really is a pretty good quarterback. I hate the way he throws. He looks like a weirdo throwing, but I think he's a really good quarterback.
He's not Tom Brady.
And he's not Tom Brady. I just want to see somebody else lift that trophy. If I have to see this asshole win another freaking trophy, I swear, like, I'm just going to lose my shit. Like, I'm just so tired of watching the Patriots. I can't take it anymore. Like, I really hope that, like, something bad happens to that team.
Does it piss you off at all that Robert Kraft, the owner of this team, has, like, a 37-year-old smoking hot girlfriend?
Yeah, well, whatever.
He should.
I mean, he should. Guy's got, like, probably, millions and millions of dollars. I can't even, like.
It just starts at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Whatever.
So here we go. 2 things. Dave, you getting on a rant like this. Welcome to the Angry Hacks, by the way. and second, you guys are all on the Patriots on this game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yes, but like rooting interest, I love to just see them lose, of course.
Of course. Well, the Patriots haven't gone 2 games under 500 since 2001. Patriots are going to win this game, by the way.
Yeah. That's a really great stat, and that's why, not even knowing that stat, that's why I was even saying, like, I can't see the Patriots starting off 0-2. I just can't see it happening.
Right, and that was, I think that what was that Tom Brady's first actual starting year, because I think wasn't it 2000 he came in for Bledsoe?
Yes,
something like that.
I think so.
So the 01-02 season is when he first,
I think so.
started the season for this team as their starting quarterback. But that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing for a team. I mean, you got to give it to the ownership. You got to give it to the coaching staff. You have to. But I'm with you, Dave. I can't stand this team, and I'm done watching them in the playoffs. I'm done.
I just and then it just sucks because it's like every year you just see like a team make a decent, like, honestly, yeah, like you're talking about the Chiefs, like that'd be great to see the Chiefs make a run, and then what, to lose by 30 in the freaking championship game to the Patriots, because it's great that they won last week, but when you come down to an AFC championship game, it's going to be a lot different, a lot of nerves.
If it's in Foxborough, the Patriots.
Yeah, a lot of nerves in Foxborough, most likely, because
if it's Kansas City, you got a shot. If it's in Foxborough, you're not winning.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it's Peyton Manning because he can never win there in the playoffs.
When did Denver beat them? When it was in Denver.
Yeah.
So, guys, any other intrigue games before we get to our teams?
Just one more game, and this is going to be with me and Mike, obviously, but obviously Green Bay and Atlanta, because I just want to see Green Bay respond to the ass kicking they took last year in the NFC Championship. I just want to see how hard they're going to come out and go after this team, because this is, believe it or not, this is actually my favorite game of the week by far. I'm actually excited about this game. I'm wholeheartily rooting for Green Bay. I want to see them get some redemption. I mean, last year that game was over in like the second quarter. So pretty much. So I want to see that, and they're going into Atlanta, into their new building. So be nice to play spoiler and to see Rodgers throw I don't know how many, 6 touchdowns.
I think it's possible.
I'm really so I'm really big on this game. Even though I'm a betting man, I would take Green Bay only because I just think Green Bay's I got it.
Well, yeah, I'll be watching the game. I think a big part of this is the new building. I think that could be a distraction. Hopefully it is. And the coach speak and all the guys will say the right thing and say that revenge has nothing to do with it. That was 2016. This is 2017. But they're bullshitting you. I mean, it means a little something extra, because it's not like you just lost to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like they ate our lunch, and
it was a pure ass.
And they spit the crumbs out on us, So it means a little bit more. Whenever the game looks like a shootout, like a lot of times it never is. But I think it finally will be. The Packer defense looked good last week, but there's a much different offense. There's a different animal. But I don't see it. I don't see them slowing Rodgers down.
I don't see it either. And the other thing is, you mentioned this new stadium being a distraction. I think that's always a distraction with most teams. Whenever they have a new stadium, a team opens up a new stadium, there's added pressure.
Sure.
There's added pressure. Remember we went into Dallas, the Giants went into Dallas and beat them their first game there. That was sweet. We wanted that so much more. So not only are the Packers coming in and wanted to revenge their last loss from last year, they're coming in there wanting to be the first team to win a game in this new stadium. I love the Packers in this game. I love the Packers in this game.
Do you love the Packers in this game?
Love the Packers in this game, and they are getting points, people. We might have to talk about this one later.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going Packers too. I think it's going to be a 35-24 game, and I think Ty Montgomery gets really, really close to 300 scrimmage yards in this game.
Wow.
You know what?
With 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think so either.
I think it's a perfect game for him. Line him up all over the field, and I think you can get a lot of mismatches. They have a lot of fast linebackers who are a little undersized, and they don't have much speed on the defensive line. So I think if utilized the right way, we get Geronimo Allison back this week. That may play a big factor too. I mean, I like the kid a lot. It gives you some more options, some more flexibility in formations. But I agree with you, Nuns. I think Montgomery reaps a lot of the benefits of some matchups here.
Now, Mike, This is a perfect time. Being a Packer fan, give me your X factor on the offensive side and the defensive side for the Packers in this game.
Ooh, very good question. Well, X factor on the offense is probably going to be Kyle Murphy again. The young right tackle who had to play for Balaga last week. Balaga is still questionable. I forgot to check the practice report today. I don't know if he got back to practice yet, but I think there's a better than 50-50 chance that Murphy has to play right tackle again. So guys like Vic Beasley and those other pass rushers, they will be licking their chops seeing a second-year right tackle with like 3 career starts. So we'll see how he holds up.
Gotcha.
Because, if Rodgers has time, there's usually not many problems. Defensively, it's going to be the continued growth of this Nitro package. They implemented this new defense this year where they put a lot of safeties on the field. I don't know if you guys noticed Kentrell Bryce last week, but he played a lot. And that's because when they play this Nitro, and they played it a ton, Morgan Burnett comes down and plays linebacker. So they have Clinton Dix and Bryce back at safety. And this defense is very, very it's very flexible. They can do a lot of things out of it. They can do a lot of exotic blitzes. Playing it a lot last week means it's on tape a lot, but Dom saved a bunch for Atlanta. There's going to be offensive formations they installed just for this game. So I think if you want to play on defense, how about Clay? Because Clay, I think, Perry, Daniels, they were in the backfield a lot. Clay was just eating up blocks, which is an unsung thing, but it doesn't show up on the sheet. But I think if they're kind of scheming and game planning things, probably going to have to rush up against his brother too, Jake Matthews. I think I like Clay to get a sack and a half.
I like it, man. I like it.
Play's name much last
No,
week.
if you watch the replay, he was just getting his nose dirty, eating up blocks.
I didn't really remember hearing his name that much.
No,
I was wondering if he was even out there at times, but then again, once again, I did nod off a little bit during that game. So.
No, you didn't miss him.
So, all right, boys. Monday nighter is a big one. I know, Dave, you said that Green Bay Atlanta game was the top game you were going to see this week. I think that's a lie because we have a game on Monday.
Yes. So. I exclude sometimes talking about my team when I was kind of.
I know.
But obviously, this is a big game for the Giants. They need to come back and get back to form because Detroit is not a bad team, despite what many people think. And I really don't think Matthew Stafford's that bad of a quarterback either. I actually think Stafford's very good.
Detroit thinks he's pretty good. A lot of money they gave him.
Well, and I don't know if I know as far as money wise, it's not my money they're giving away, so I don't really care. So. But I don't know. I think the Giants, it's not going to be an easy game. It's really not. I mean, thank God the Giants are home, which is good. I think it won't be an easy coming on the road to play in Giants Stadium for them. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game at all. I think it's actually going to be a very close game, honestly.
But you think we're going to pull it out?
Of course. I'm not going to say they're going to lose.
They're going to have to play a lot better.
They're going to have to play a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing at Ryan today when I listened to your guys' pod yesterday or this morning, actually, and he was saying, putting the Giants in the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, you're lucky if they make the playoffs playing like that. So, something's got to change. So, whatever has to change. I remember I was telling Mike, and I don't know the exact terms for it, but there was a certain, a defensive scheme that the Giants are having a hard time blocking, and McAdoo was asked about it, and he basically, admitted to the fact that they are having a hard time blocking this certain scheme, and those teams are going to use it against them. So they really need to get their shit together and start working as a cohesive unit on that offensive line, or they're going to get killed.
Hey, Rye, if McAdoo goes out there and throws out salads, are we going to win that game?
No 3-yard fucking salads.
T-bone steaks.
He needs
surf and turf.
Just change up the play calls a little. You need to do something a little different. And it's just the same old song and dance. Like you said, listen, if Odell is out there, whether he's out there fully healthy, whether he's out there 80%, whether he's out there as a decoy, we are going to be better this week. We are home. I think last week was a kick in the jimmy, and I think this week will be different. Now, I think the game, I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything, but I fully expect us to win this game, and I actually like the Giants in this game if I was a neutral fan.
Yeah. I'm with you. I like the Giants winning something like 21-15, something like that, something silly like that. I think our offense gets a little bit better, not where we want it to be. My only concern right now and biggest concern is that offensive line, of course. So what are they going to show us this game? They need they got guys, they need to play better. There's no other way to say it. They got to play better. I mean, right, Bobby Hart was on the injury report, I think, so he might not even play. So
Right.
does that put DJ Fluker out there? I'm not sure.
No, it does.
He's
the back. DJ Fluker's the backup for Hart. Hart won the job over Fluker, so we'll see Fluker. And you know what? Maybe him not winning the job, maybe is something good for us. Maybe it lights a fire under his ass. I don't know. I hope so. But speaking of offensive linemen of the Giants, I wanted to know, Ryan, if you read that oral history of the Giants Super Bowl against the Pats, Super Bowl 42.
No, you know what? I didn't have any time when you sent it. I gotta watch. I'm gonna do it tonight or tomorrow. Definitely.
It's like a 20, maybe 25-minute read with
Good.
a couple of videos. It's awesome, but made me think of it is all the offensive linemen have something to say in there, and I just miss those guys. Chris Snee, Deal, O'Hara.
Yeah, O'Hara.
You know, and
like,
it's just nice hearing from
Kareem McKenzie and all those guys.
Stoibert.
Yeah.
Sherbert.
Dude.
But, I mean, I wish we had those guys back.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a huge reason, and we talked about it in the other pod the other day. That was a huge reason they won those Super Bowls, and especially the 2007 one. That offensive line was awesome. And Mike, you said it, continuity throughout the season. They were there every game.
It helps with
doing a great job. And what did it do for the running game? It was excellent for guys that weren't studs, Jacobs and Bradshaw. It was excellent, man.
Just goes to show you when you can win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and two staples of those Giants teams were great offensive line and great pass rushers, which, you know, so you have those, you win the line of scrimmage and everything else falls into place.
And that's all you really have to say, Mike. That's perfectly said for those two teams. It was winning the line of scrimmage, because if you look at both of those teams, they weren't great teams. One of the teams snuck in, the other one won the division at 9-7. But you have a stable line of scrimmage. You get hot at the right moment, and you can do great things. And that's what we did twice. Absolutely. Well, I think we're going to win. I do. I think it's going to be like you guys said, a little bit closer than you think. I think our offense gets a little bit on track. I think Odell plays. Guys, did you hear Odell saying that he has a 6 to 8 week injury, by the way?
Yeah, I saw it.
The frick? Can he stop?
I don't know. He's like,
he can't.
He loves the center of attention.
Yeah.
Dude, he's starting to remind me of T.O.
He's dramatic. Let's be honest. He's a little dramatic. Like, I mean, dude, you rolled an ankle. Like, suck it up and fucking play. Shut the fuck up.
6 to 8 weeks.
But I'm confident they'll win. Honestly, they'll get back on track. They know that they can't let these games slip away. It's early in the season, but you don't want to get yourself into a hole. So this is a big game.
My one thing is, please, if you win this game, which I think they will, score at least 20 points so I don't have to hear about this shit anymore.
Very true. Defense really did save them a lot last year. Didn't really notice it because that win column just kept going up. But they won a lot of games only scoring points in the teens.
They average like 19 points a game.
No, I know. And it's true. They went 11-5 last year, and I guarantee, maybe can't tell you the exact number, but half, if not even more than half, their wins were probably with less than 20 points.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's hope for the best for both of our teams. Both have some tough games. Mike, Green Bay's got to go to Atlanta. Not easy. No. But I think they take them out there, and, you know, we got a tough one. We got a tough one at home. The Lions are feeling good after their win. So let's just hope for the best. And let's just hope for some good football, right? For week 2.
Yep.
Well, I'll certainly be rooting for the Giants because the Lions can go to hell. All right. So now we're going to get to our picks, boys and girls. We're going to start this. We didn't get to do it week 1. We're going to start this week. We're we're going to go down. We're going to pick 3 games each that we like with the point spread. If we had a sack of money, these are the games we'd be going to Vegas and throwing coins around.
Life savings on this, bro.
There's a couple games I put the
life savings.
on.
I'm like Buzz from Home Alone with his life savings.
All right. So we're gonna do this all year. We're gonna keep track of them, and we're gonna see who wins, and for bragging rights, and we can make fun of everybody else. All right. So I think I'll lead off. My first game, and it's my most confident, and I have a feeling some of you guys might agree, is Tennessee over Jacksonville. Tennessee laying 2 points. The spread I have, I don't care if it was 38. I'd still probably take Tennessee. I don't care that's in Jacksonville. I don't care that it's a divisional game. Jacksonville's getting a little love. They're getting a little juice because they won a game. But I want to remind everybody, Blake Bortles didn't have to do anything in that game. Okay, and I think he's going to have to do something in this game, and he's going to poop his pants like he always does. Allen Robinson is no longer – he's out for the year. Okay,
that's true.
His whoopee, his safety blanket is gone. Okay, I like Tennessee. I like Tennessee in general. I like Tennessee. I think they're a playoff team this year. I think they win this division. So I think going to Jacksonville and absolutely laying a smackdown on the Jaguars is in the cards. Love Tennessee at -2. My second game, I like Cleveland in Baltimore, and I got Cleveland at +8.5. And so, and actually, even if it was a little more in the field goal, I'd still probably like Cleveland. I think they're good enough to cover these big numbers this year. They're not going to win a lot of these games, but I think they're going to be competitive. They have a really good offensive line, and Joe Flacco sucks. Who the hell are the Baltimore Ravens laying 8.5 points? Like, are they kidding?
Hey, you won a Super Bowl.
They suck.
It's the defense.
It's all about the defense.
It is the defense.
I know.
It is the defense, but Cleveland's offensive line is good, and they can neutralize guys like Suggs and the rest of the crew. So give me Cleveland at +8.5. My last one, I like this one a lot. And when we were doing a rundown of the games, I said I was going to save this because it's juicy. I love Philly at Kansas City.
I agree.
Getting 5.5. I like Philly to win outright this week. A couple reasons. I think Philly's pretty good, and I think their defense can be ferocious. And I think Alex Smith may be running for his life in this game. It's a tough place to play. I understand that. But maybe Kansas City, feeling their oats a little bit too much after beating New England, coming home to celebrate, and Philly coming in there and bull rushing them. So I like Philly. Probably I would even put a buck or two to win outright if I had a money line. But give me Tennessee -2. Give me Cleveland +8.5, and Philly at +5.5.
Nice.
Those are my 3. Who's up?
Rye, you go, bro. What do you got?
All right. Well, this was kind of tough for me. I saw a lot of these lines, and I thought they were kind of tough, but maybe I'm a little crazy for this one. I'm taking Oakland. My spread here I got is 13.5. I think they're going to crush the Jets. And if we're talking fantasy, I'm taking the whole Oakland offense, taking the offensive linemen too. Maybe they get a couple pancakes. But I like Oakland this year as in general. I hate the Jets this year because they suck. That's all you can say. They suck. They suck ass, and then they suck. So I'm taking Oakland. I don't know what your lines are here. I have 13.5.
13.5 too.
All right, cool. The next one, Rye, you may like this one because you're pretty big on them this year. I think it was you that when we were talking. I got the Chargers. I have 3.5 here. I think you said something about their home field advantage, so to speak. I think they're going to come out in this and just go crazy. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling Phillip Rivers, he's going to throw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hunter Henry's going to get at least a look. He had no targets last week. Mike, I know you love Miami for some reason this year. I think Miami blows my ass.
I don't love them, but I like them.
I don't like him at all, but I think the Chargers are going to be amped up after a tough loss. on a missed field goal against Denver. They had an opportunity. I like the Chargers. And my last one, I had to go with my Giants. I have them at -3 on mine. I don't know what you guys got on yours.
3.
All right, great. Well, what did I say before? They're going to win 21-15, correct? There you go. My New York Giants are gonna take it for me. So I got Oakland, the Chargers, and the Giants, boys.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to go to some different games because I had some of the same picks, but I don't see a point in talking about the same games over and over. So obviously, because it was my one pick game of the week that I'm really interested in anyway, I'm definitely taking Green Bay at +3 over Atlanta. We kind of talked about it. We kind of touched on it earlier. I really think they're out for redemption. I think it's going to be a big deal going into that new stadium and winning there. And I think Green Bay is probably right now the front runner for the best team in the NFC anyway. So I'm definitely going Green Bay +3. I'm also going back to this game also taking New England -6.5 over New Orleans. I think New England's going to come out with a vengeance as much as I don't want them to because I hate them, but I don't see them going 0-2, and I'm just really down on the Saints this year. So I really just don't see that New England laying a dud here, and I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to win by like 2 or 3 touchdowns, to be honest with you. So I like the -6.5 there. And I guess another game I'm going to touch on because nobody's talked about. I did have the Chargers game, Roy. I was big on that. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I'm going to go with, how about Arizona -7 over Indianapolis? I think going back kind of what Ryan said with Scott Tolzien being their quarterback and them not winning a game, which might be a little harsh, but I think Arizona, even with the injury to David Johnson, I think I don't know much about Kerwin Williams, but I think he could be, he can come in and do the job and be fine. Plus, they still have other weapons. Carson Palmer needs to pick up his game, though, because, I mean, I've so many times this guy's let me down in certain areas as far as, well, betting wise at least. And but they still got Fitz and they still got players that can make plays. So Indianapolis has really just fallen off, or
suck.
They just basically suck. Let's go with it. And I think Arizona losing last week, I think they're going to come back and they're going to get to 1-1. So I'm going Green Bay +3, New England -6.5, and Arizona -7. Those are my picks.
Cool.
I guess it's my turn. Dave just stole my thunder with one of them. One of my picks is definitely going to be Arizona. It's Arizona at -7. They were -7.5 earlier in the week. It's -7. And when Vegas comes out with an odd that is 7.5, they're begging you to take the underdog. They're begging you. They're like, well, this team's got to win by 7, so you should take the underdog. They want you to take the underdog. So, I'm going the opposite way. I'm not just betting on on Arizona here. I am betting against the Colts. That's really what I'm doing. I'm betting against Scott Tolzien. 0-16 if he plays every game. You heard it here first. That's what's going to happen. 0-16 if this guy plays every game.
Leave my old backup alone. Leave
Love the Cardinals here. Even without David Johnson, like Dave said, I don't think it matters. And let me tell you, Vegas took that into consideration. If David Johnson's playing this game, they're probably -10.5. I mean, at least 8 or something. So they took that into consideration. And for them to still have it at 7 or above, that means they know Arizona's winning this game by more than 7. So Arizona's my first pick. I'm taking picks that everyone already said because I'm going last here. But Michael Hall, he said the Titans -2 over the Jags. I love it. This line has been fluctuating between 1 and 2.5. I've seen it a few places. -2, I think, is a steal. If it goes to -1, I think this is ridiculous. Everyone's busting their load about Jacksonville. They won a game. They won one game. Yes, their defense played great. Mike said it differently. He said the other day that their offensive line for Tennessee is one of the best in the game. He said it could be better than Dallas. I somewhat agree. So I think this game goes the Titans' way. And I don't, because they'll be 0-2 if they lose this one. I just don't see that happening. I don't see the Jaguars being 2-0. My third game, Packers-Falcons. I'm going to go the Pack. I said it before. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. This is the redemption game. This is the payback game.
Is this the lock of the week?
This might be the lock of the week. Take the key, throw it away.
Stone cold lock of the week.
I owe the people a win here. Take the Packers. When you're getting 3 points with Aaron Rodgers, you take it. It's in a dome. there's nothing, there's going to be no elements at play, even though he plays okay in those anyway. I'm just saying there's no way. The Falcons looked terrible last week. And I know I said the other day that they'd win the division. I don't want them to win the division. I think they might. There's a chance they suck. Someone said they wouldn't make the playoffs. I could agree. This is the Packers all the way. Give me the Packers +3. Give me the Cards -7. Give me the Titans -2.
Wow.
All right.
That was fun.
All I know is if Jacksonville's winning 24-7 in the third quarter, you're all getting a text message about this, all right? Just letting you know.
Well, real quick, interesting with that Cardinal spread, Stan, it opened at 7.5. Even when before they were sure with I think even when they weren't sure if David Johnson was going to be in there. And I know what it looked like.
They knew, Michael. They knew. We all knew.
But to your point, for it to not come down that much, my dog's in here. He's going to make some picks. No? All right. No picks for Walter.
Good stuff, man. Mike, I know you're going to keep track of that for us. It's just a little friendly thing we're going to do. We're going to pick three. Each of us are going to pick 3 a week, and just something fun to do. But guys, we talked about picking a couple of fantasy guys for this week. So I'm going to lead us off here. My first fantasy guy is not a surprise after I talked him up before when we were talking about games. That's Ty Montgomery. I think he gives us 30+ fantasy points this week, man. So whoever has him, lock it up, baby. Put him in your lineup as a running back or a flex. I think he's locked for 30+ points. To be honest with you, a lot of guys in that game may be really good fantasy plays. And the other one I'll just say is the whole Raiders offense. I'm taking Carr. I'm taking Marshawn Lynch. I'm taking Cooper, Crabtree. I'm even taking Beetlejuice himself, Jared Cook, as a tight end. I'm telling you, this whole Raiders offense, man, they're scoring 30+ points this week, boys. Who's next?
Well, this is the crazy thing to me. If I'm looking at these daily fantasy sites like FanDuel, I am looking at value. Okay, I know I could go out there and say Antonio Brown or Julio Jones are going to have big games, but I'm looking at value. So I'm looking at the quarterback position to get a guy at 7,000. I'm going with Phillip Rivers. Because at 7,000, when Blake Bortles is 7,100, that just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe they know something we don't. I don't know. But I'm taking Rivers at 7,000. This is also, Miami's first game. They haven't played in a while, so I just see Rivers coming out there, especially after the loss the other day, where they had the chance to win after that blocked field goal. I just see them coming out hot. I see Rivers throwing a lot. I just see it going that way. And then if you're looking at value on the running back end, like you mentioned this, I agree. I think Marshawn Lynch is a good pick. Because 7,200 Marshawn Lynch, he could put up the potential Le'Veon Bell game who's going to give you're going to pay 9,000 for Le'Veon Bell. So I do the 7,200 for Lynch. What does everybody else got?
Well, I guess it's only fair that Ryan had to steal my thunder when I stole his thunder with the Arizona pick. But I mentioned it hours ago about taking Phillip Rivers at 7,000 against a Dolphin defense, which last time I checked wasn't anything that special. I'm still trying to figure out why he's only 7,000. But I think that's a great value pick. Just going down with the running backs. I mean, I like possibly because I know Pittsburgh's got a decent defense, but Dalvin Cook being 6,700, that's a pretty decent pick. I mean, he looked really good. I know it's the Saints, but it's pretty impressive what he did. 127 yards, most by a rookie in his first start ever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They're gonna keep feeding him the ball. Leonard Fournette at 7,600. I think that's another decent pick. There are a lot of these running backs that are kind of like in the middle here that are like, even Kareem Hunt off that huge game is only 7,800. Melvin Gordon 7,600. You got a lot of guys in here that are like, even and the Ty Montgomery pick I love too, right? Because he's only 6,500.
Yeah.
So that's like, to me that's value in its best right there. And then you could possibly consider taking, if you want to take a shot on him, if you think we think Indianapolis sucks that much, Kerwin Williams is only 6,100. So that could be interesting. Cheap running back right there. So that's kind of what I have for that. Wide receivers, if there's anything possible I can see here. Haven't really looked too much. This is one thing I haven't really been checking out. I would like to think that I like I like Randall Cobb at 6,300. I like the way Cobb played last week. Like I like the fact that Rodgers incorporates him with those short routes. Depending on how much time he actually gets, or if they're coming after Rodgers again, like they did what Seattle did to him, they're going to be implementing that game plan of those short routes. And Cobb's the best guy on that team for that. So we'll see how the game goes. But I like him at 6,300. I'm actually going to be picking him. Let's see. Possibly, I know people were big on him, but Martavis Bryant, 6,200. He didn't do much in week 1 at all, but people were really big on him this year. So maybe look to him to have a bounce back week, being as cheap as he is. And maybe possibly if Danny Amendola doesn't play, then maybe look for Chris Hogan to have a big game because you got no Edelman, and if you have no Amendola, you got to think somebody on that team is going to step up at wide receiver, if not Gronk. So maybe, and against a shitty Saints defense, Hogan could be a good play too.
Hogan gut.
Well,
Dave, I was going to say Dalvin Cook, and then you took him. I said, okay, well, and then I was going to say Randall Cobb, and you said him. So I'm going to give someone a value kicker here. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you one receiver who, if I wouldn't play him in a cash play, but if you're trying to take down a tournament, he's 5,400. Kendall Wright, who's on the Bears now. He was a target machine in Tennessee, and now you have no Cameron Meredith, you have no Kevin White, and everyone's fondling the balls of the 2 running backs, Howard and the other kid. So give me Kendall Wright, 5,400 on FanDuel. He could be a sneaky little third receiver for you. That's all I got because everyone else stole my guys.
Well, now that you're saying that all those guys out for the Bears, what about taking a flyer on a defense like the Bucs defense?
Sure, that'd be a pretty good play. I mean, the energy is going to be high there. It's their first game at home, if I'm not mistaken. So actually, I can see Tampa D finishing in the top, 7 or 8 for the week for sure.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it's another reason why we watch football, guys, is fantasy football. Thank God when your team blows, which thankfully ours doesn't right now. When your team blows, at least you got fantasy football to look forward to. That's why football's so great.
Amen.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I did. It was nice having the 4 of us in here chit-chatting about some sports, especially some football. I can't wait for week 2. Obviously, I miss the days when we're all hanging out watching games, but we got to do what we got to do.
Okay, Monday night, we got we'll set it up and we'll be able to talk during the game.
Monday night, baby, on the Google Hangouts. We'll check it out. But hope you guys enjoyed our podcast tonight. We'll be back with some more soon. Enjoy the weekend of football, and we're getting closer to some playoff baseball. But make sure you guys check us out on YouTube, as well as SoundCloud and iTunes, and also our Twitter account @TheAngryHacks. But for now, the 4 of us, we out. Take it easy, boys.